So we are back with my good buddy Lee at Bearfield Counterstone, and I am here picking up some samples for the bathroom countertop. You saw that the cabinets were delivered yesterday, and now we are looking for countertops. So you remember that tile that they picked has a lot of gray in it, but it had those little amber tiles too. So we're looking at some tiles that have a little bit of that amber, which I love, but I think this one's gonna be the winner. Can you see that there's a little green in there? And of course, you know our walls are green, so it's not gonna be my decision, but I'm putting my money on that one. All right, the countertop pieces are now in the house. All right, so we went with three. We went with a Carrara marble, beautiful, classic, timeless, vanilla. This one turned out really, really pretty. And then here's that one that I showed you with the green that I thought was gonna be the contender, or the top contender. But I think we're leaning toward this one. So here's that tile. You know, it's got the grays, it's got that honey golden color. And then because they're using all brass finishes, I think this is gonna be the winner. Any of them would be a great answer. You can't go wrong with Carrara. It's your vanilla ice cream. But if you want a little something, I love this. I love this. I think we're going toward this one, but I think either one would be a winner. We'll just have to wait and see. We're gonna start working on the cabinets on Monday. Cabinets will go right here, and we'll put the samples on the cabinets, and that might lock us in on one or the other. The tile is done. And even more exciting, it's cabinet day. First of all, the tile looks awesome. We got the two little niches. Love these. Love how that Schluter gave it such a clean look. Love how this finished out by the door. Tiled the pony walls. Got the floor grouted. Got this nice little threshold in place. Shower looks great. So now we turn our attention to cabinets, and they all got delivered. We are gonna start on this side. We've got a sink cabinet, a little 6-inch pull-out, and then two 18 inches. And we're gonna finish this side first because the back side, which is two 24-inch cabinets and a filler, are gonna end up flush. So we're gonna get this set in place and then let the width of that filler will be dictated by what it needs to be so that these two cabinets end flush. We are starting with this because we wanna get our countertops templated as soon as possible. Countertops here and also on our pony wall, because once they're in place, then we can do our glass. And then we've also got to put cabinets here, but there's nothing waiting on those. So that'll be our last step. All right, so all the holes have been cut for the plumbing. Set it in place. And hopefully it's gonna fit. All right. Gonna need a little shim, of course. No one thought that these floors would be level, or that wall for that matter. Now, we built this wall, so it ought to be pretty level, but this one over here, probably not gonna be plumb. This is one step of the project that always takes longer than you would think. We are on day 2 of installing these cabinets. That first one, it was a booger. We are finally down to 2, and we had to kind of work on both sides because we had to make sure that in the end, this was going to end up flush. So we had to know what the spacers over here were going to equal to the spacers over there. But we are finally pretty close. We are getting them templated tomorrow. So we're going to get this finished today. So Jesus still has over here, these two and the spacer to go here, but it's coming together. Let me show you from this side. We have our sink cabinet with some drawers on the side. This is almost like a spice rack. It's gonna be like a little hairbrush and stuff pull out, and then 2 more 18 inches. Now, homeowner has made a change. These we have 2 of these and they were going over there, and it was just too cabinety in here. And they've been really, really flexible and awesome. And so we're actually going to move those to the other side of the wall and put those in what's going to become the bedroom. And then you remember we have another one of these. It's going to move here, which I love. I love the balance. We'll have the balance of the 2 bookcases there. It'll kind of mimic the balance that we have of the 2 transoms there. So this is going to be a huge sink, and then really, we're calling it an island, but it's really a peninsula. We're going to have nice countertops, lots and lots of drawers, space for jewelry, accessories, whatever you need. So this is going to be great. I'm really, really excited about this. Of course, we've got to trim out this side once we get it all installed, but the priority is get this installed so that we can get the template for this and this pony wall for the shower. The cabinets are in. We've got 2 sets of drawers over here, lots of drawers over there. Jesus went ahead and got all of our molding on these pony walls. And as I said, they are coming tomorrow to template the countertops. So I have marked accordingly everywhere that we're going to have an overhang and how much it's going to be. So we're going to have a little bit of stone that sits on the top. And then, of course, stone over here. We're going to have a square sink, a little bit of stone backsplash. We also started prepping. You remember, we're moving our tall cabinets now into here. So we pop that baseboard off, and the homeowner can have that baseboard to save for a project down the road. So yesterday was a very slow day, not much to show. Today, they rocked it out and got a ton done. So I was tied up yesterday, and these guys were left to their own devices. And let me tell you, they got so much done. We got the countertops templated, both this and the pony wall. Speaking of that pony wall, look at that wainscoting, molding, millwork, whatever you want to call it. So we have all those pieces. We've got a nice coat of primer on those. That looks so, so good. It's just sharp, and all that's going to stay white. We're going to paint it like it's trim. And right now, Jesus is working on building doors for this closet. So we're going to do a pair of doors hinged on left and right. And then we're going to mimic these doors. So we're going to do that same pattern like you have here, like you have here. And then, of course, we've got the transoms, which mimic the glass doors. It's just going to look great. Okay, y'all, I'm convinced that Jesus can build anything. So this is a side panel, or one of the frames of the doors he's making. He's got 3 more over there. And then here's the little top piece. So these are the long ones, of course. Those are the short. But look how he has done a tongue and groove. So there's the groove. And here's a tongue. That will pop right in there. And he's even run that edge, sanded that edge down just a little bit. He hasn't done this yet, but gosh, he is so good. He could build anything. All right, so check out the way did you use the sander or the router or what?
Table saw.
The table saw. He used the table saw and smoothed that edge up, but then of course he stopped right here. You can't see that. That's terrible camera work. He stopped right here with that routing so that this would be smooth. So cool. Meanwhile, inside we're doing little things like this cut right there was a little jagged, so we've added some mud. Do you remember we were adding a little mud up there where the tile stopped and the sheetrock still needed some attention? That's been painted. We had a little spot over here that didn't look great, and it was going to be covered up with cabinets, but now it's going to be visible, so we did some mud there. We're going to break for lunch. We'll be back, and I can't wait for you to see these doors very, very soon. So I got here just in time to see these doors go together. You can see he's got the really long clamps on them, and they're just beautiful. He just used the pin nails to nail them together. Of course, we know there was wood glue in there, and then they are a tongue and groove. Can't wait to see them in the room. Meanwhile, inside, we are turning our attention to reconstructing that bookcase, which has been really handy. We've kept things on it the whole time we've been working here. But now we're gonna reconstruct it and put it over there. All right, it's in. It's not pretty yet, but it's in. Obviously, we've got still some baseboard work to do, caulking, sanding, painting, but I love having the pair in here. And then when we get the doors on, it's gonna be awesome. Good morning. So look at this gorgeous set of doors that Jesus made. They're beautiful. We have one problem. They stick out 1/4 of an inch too much, and those drawers don't open. So we are exploring opportunities to try to fix that. So right now we're looking to see if it's an option to just slide the drawer fronts over 1/4 of an inch. We've taken one off and we're studying that. Okay, so Jesus moved this one over about 1/4 of an inch, and we think it's gonna work. Now this one is a little bit off. This one already needs some adjusting. So we're gonna have to adjust that way so that we can adjust these. So we fixed that problem. First of all, here's the closet doors. They look amazing. And now they open just barely, and we just slid these doors over a little bit. Let me show you what we did inside the closet. We have added a shelf at the top and a shelf halfway, and we're gonna do a rod here. This way they've got some long hanging and then some short hanging. We wrapped these closet shelves all the way around. All right, so we are wrapping up. We have really run out of things to do until our countertop guys get here. And also we're gonna get our hardwood floor guys in to work on the floors while we're waiting on the countertops. So we will be back, and I hope that you will be too.